I'm okay with it being gone. I don't have dents in my head. I don't have war wounds and battle scars. I wasn't pistol whipped or hit with a crowbar early in life.
Like a crowbar.
So I'm good.
That's fucked up, man. That would hurt.
Hey.
I hope that's being recorded. I've never got hit with a crowbar before. Like, yeah. It's a fucked up image, actually.
Man, hood chronicles, bro. Hood
That's
chronicles.
badass. Man, I agree with every bit of that, though. Hey, welcome to another edition in the first edition online live of What It Is with my main man,
Arturo!
and CJ. Today we got a special guest. Our main man, we got a small circle of cats with hoop heads. We enjoy balling. We every time we get together, it's a blast. So we had to get our brother on the show. We're gonna go back and forth with him, Mr. Marcus Payton.
And Pete?
Whoa.
The man, the myth. There he is.
The government name. It's
Yeah, that's my man. That's why I know you. You know, keep it like that. But anyway, so I'm gonna
just call him Hood Hoops historian.
the hood hoops historian. There he is, my main man. So and you know Arturo. You know him. This is so I jump
CJ.
off. This is CJ. I'm gonna be sort of like
wrong
Charlie.
ideas. All the time, wrong ideas.
I'm always right. Y'all know that. That's why y'all took me off camera. I know how it goes around here. See,
He was so shamed from his Lakers are built for the playoffs comment that he had to get off the camera is what happened there.
Man, forget y'all.
CJ's in the clouds, the rain's coming down.
Video footage lives forever.
Man, y'all wrong, man.
You don't want to
Y'all
show you
wrong.
guys. He's got a beard, it's long.
You know what I'm saying?
He's trying to do the math. How can LeBron get into the playoffs this year? No, CJ, it's not happening. They're built for the playoffs.
Y'all both wrong, man. Anyway, right now out of the East, we got the Eastern Conference, right? So right now in the East, who you like? What matchups you want to see? And give me a dark horse.
Hey, listen. Contrary to what everybody may want to see, which is usually Brooklyn, Philadelphia, what I really want to see, I want to see Kyrie go back to Boston. This couldn't have fallen into a better situation. Remember, we had the brother walking around with Sage in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, you had the quote-unquote dream team. Dude, lest we forget, was it Gordon Hayward, Kyrie, Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart coming off the bench. I believe Al Horford was on that squad too. Listen, you had a team that was built to do this thing. And for whatever reason, it kind of fell apart. It's some bad blood there, baby. Believe you me. And as good as Kyrie's playing right now, gotta be honest, I want to see what happens with that added pressure of real gangsters on that other side of the court. It's a difference. You got certain ball players that are so skilled, so good at what they do, but deep down underneath that exterior, they run up against a real gangster, and you start to see what I call a chihuahua.
Ooh.
So let's see what happens. Because Kyrie definitely that dude on the court.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. But that's the matchup I want to see. As far as a dark horse, in the Eastern Conference, and in the words of my buddy Arturo, I'm completely unbiased.
This is true.
I like the Chicago Bulls coming back intact. Although we don't have Lonzo Ball.
Oh my goodness.
I understand. Listen, there's something about no pressure and being overlooked. And if they can steal one game, you got a team full of youngins that nobody's game planning for. Only people that got tape on is DeRozan and Levine. Everybody else is a wild card.
Wow.
So you can't say they're not talented.
Wow.
If Vucevic can play 50% of what he used to be when he was at Orlando, you might have a series here, fellas.
Wow.
And let's not forget, if I'm Billy Donovan, I'm taping this SHIT on the bulletin board. Don't forget Clinton Portis knocked one of our Bulls out when he was here. Dismantled our locker room. Let's let this chump know what time it is. I rest my case, fellas. Wow. I'm just saying. Don't hate the player. It's just the facts, baby. Gangsters in Chicago, those beer drinking bums in Milwaukee.
Ooh.
Let's get it.
Wow. All right, Joe. Follow that.
That's going to be tough to follow. How do I dissect that? Well, if we're just going to go off of my answer, I got Milwaukee coming out of the East, most likely. The matchup, like Marcus, you're correct, man. The matchup that everybody wants to see, that everybody deserved to get, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's Philadelphia and Brooklyn. There's bad blood. There's a Harden thing. There's the Daryl Morey thing that traded for Harden, and if Harden looks horrible, but that matchup would have to take place in the Eastern Conference Finals, and barring some sort of like weird turn of events, it's most likely not going to happen. I love that Boston-Brooklyn matchup. I mean, absolutely love it. Kyrie coming back to the Garden. He's touching that floor that he stomped on last year. It's personal. Boston has a tremendous defense. Robert Williams is coming back. I wasn't necessarily a believer of Boston until I saw that Sunday matchup like 3 or 4 weeks ago with Dallas. And Luka is playing as usual in a snail's pace, and he's trying to switch. And Robert Williams and Al Horford were just dealing with it beautifully. And I was like, holy shit, this defense is for real. And Brooklyn's coming to town, and they have a problem with KD and Kyrie. That matchup is going to be blood sport. It's going to happen. Whoever comes out of that series is not going to be the same going forward. And my dark horse,
Oh shit.
the dark horse, and you guys know me. If anything about me that CJ will say, and Marcus has known me really well too, is that I'm completely unbiased. And unbiasedly speaking, Philadelphia's a dark horse. I know that there's issues with Harden. I know there's issues with that team. Matisse isn't playing in this first round. But once they get past Toronto, I see them becoming the Super Saiyan figure and taking Miami. Miami plays at a super slow pace, and that's going to benefit Embiid. It's going to benefit Harden and the foul-looking fours. And once they get to that Eastern Conference Finals, they will be a Super Saiyan. They get to the finals. Whether they can beat Phoenix or not, I just gave away the answer for the next part. But
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Philly, unbiasedly speaking, I think is a dark horse.
Okay.
So if I and again,
Please
I'm just gonna
speak.
throw this out here.
Speak.
You can't. A team that's built on championship or bust cannot be a dark horse. You cannot be a dark horse when you are expected to contend for an NBA championship. Just
Do you
because
think
are-
Philly's coming out of the East?
I think Philly has underperformed, but the expectations.
Do you think they're coming out of the East?
I do not.
Nope.
Okay, so that's a dark horse, Marcus.
No, a dark horse. is
Yeah,
someone
because
that-
you don't think they can win, and then they will come up to win. I'm
dark-
unbiasedly speaking, Marcus.
A dark horse is someone that is
Oh, my
not
God.
expected to compete and win. Philadelphia has underperformed, but the expectations are there. But going back to Boston, and I'll leave it here. Hey, I think we agree on this. Certain pieces that were acquired prior to that trade deadline have really turned the corner, or helped this team turn the corner.
Derek White, it was the
Derek
glue.
White at that point guard position.
Completely agree with you,
is
bro.
Good point.
impeccable.
That I agree with.
Impeccable.
Yeah.
So, I disagree. If you would have said the Charlotte Hornets, I might have rolled with you.
Like.
But not Philly.
Ooh.
All I can say is I'm unbiased.
That's
it.
Oh god.
Period.
I'm gonna let me stop before this microphone blows up. Anyway, great start, gentlemen. Great start. So hey, that's topic A. So we're out east on that one, guys. Let's go out west. What do we think? What's gonna happen out west? Same rules apply. Who you got? What matchups you want to see? And who's your dark horse? All right, Arturo, kick us off on this one.
I think I gave it away. I think Phoenix is going to come out of the West. They've won 64 games. Am I correct on that? Fact check me, please, at some point. Historically speaking, when a team wins 64 plus games, they're a finalist. I don't think any team has won anything less than 63, has not been to the finals. So they're going to the finals. Usually that team wins the finals. They're the best team. The matchup I'm looking forward to is Memphis-Phoenix. If there's any team that's going to give them some run, Memphis has proven that they got pieces. They're deep. They're getting Ja back. They're a really good team. They're well coached, and you're adding in this supernova of a player. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup. My dark horse, It was Dallas, but now we hear about this calf strain. So that just I found out about a couple hours ago that it's probably serious. So it's a little bit disappointing because I got this whole soliloquy about Dallas and Luka and him becoming Luka, that this next great player. That was my dark horse. With that calf strain, it looks like it's not going to happen for them.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
Golden State could be a dark horse. I know Marcus disagrees.
Sounds funny
because
saying
they're built
Golden
for
State
championship
as a dark horse. Sounds funny.
aspirations.
Because
But
They came in
not.
third. Yeah, they came in third in the West.
Fourth.
Because they're not.
fourth, no?
We need to define the definition of a dark horse.
Third.
They are third.
Behind Memphis.
Dark horse is a team that no one expects to win.
Bingo.
Right.
That's the
That's
point.
not
No one
Golden
thinks
State.
Golden State's winning the championship
That
this
is
year.
not true.
You straight.
Curry's coming back injured.
what?
Clay's not
A
the
dark
same
horse-
yet.
A dark horse would be Minnesota.
Draymond,
A dark horse would be
Draymond, I just
Minnesota
said.
or something like that. Golden State is in the upper echelon of the league.
C's,
We
please
expect them.
Preach, C's.
We expect them
Yes.
to be right there.
do we agree that winning a championship is really difficult?
Of course.
Okay, do we agree that there's only a single-digit percentage point of a team to actually has the ability to win it?
Of course.
Okay, Golden State, I'm sure odds makers do not have them very high as winning a championship this year, the way they're constructed.
Okay.
So they are, to me, in that case, a dark horse.
I think you're skewing the definition of what a dark horse is. And that's
Wow.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I agree with C's. A dark horse, the expectation isn't there for a dark horse. Hence the word.
Life
dark
is gray
horse.
areas, Marcus.
So, but I will say this: as far as the matchup that I'd like to see in the Western Conference, I really want to see the very first matchup, and that's the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors.
That's the best matchup. Yeah, you're
I
right.
do believe now.
Wow.
You're right.
And here's why I say that. You're looking at a team that's, it's really Jokic and a bunch of bums. No disrespect. And when I say a bunch of bums, I say that lovingly. These are guys, listen, you're an NBA player. It takes a lot to get to the league. There are no chumps in the NBA. But I can call you a bum when compared to other all-star elite talent. Across the court on that other sideline, on that other bench, you got some real goons over there. And with their heart and soul coming back, and the babyface assassin, the heart and soul is Draymond Green, but the babyface assassin is back. Klay Thompson, again, I use the word. These are gangsters, man. They talk crazy and they back it up. So when you talk about that matchup, if the Joker can do what he did against those boys in LA with the Clippers, and what I like to say from the coroner's report, zip them up. Hey man, we got a series. This is still one game, and still that game in the Bay, it's a different ball game. Now, if we're talking about a dark horse, this is gonna be interesting. C's mentioned it. I was not a believer until last night's game. Was not a believer. I don't know how the hell Minnesota did it. I don't know where it came from.
Ant-Man.
But what I saw last night was a rotation of 10 players. Who runs 10 guys out there in the playoffs and is
Not many.
effective? Hey, I don't know who the hell this coach is. I'm sorry, guys. I call myself Triple H, Hood Hoop Historian, but this is a new cat, so I don't really feel that bad. I don't know who he is, but those dudes came to play. And my favorite coach in all of the NBA right now, for all of his strategic measures, took out their best player, and then their coach circumvented that shit with a bench full of 6, 7, 8, 9 players that came in and gave them the business. There's my dark horse, baby, right there.
It's a good one. You're right.
Wow, that was pretty good, man. You know what? I hear what you're saying. So, me being the voice from the great beyond, y'all can't see me and y'all know who I am. So if y'all don't agree with me, y'all can go yell into the ether. But I still got Phoenix coming out of the West. Just like in the East, I had Milwaukee coming out of the East. I had that from day one in the season, and right now I think both things are on track to be true. I don't know if I got enough faith in the Nets. I don't know if I got enough faith in them, although they're scary. They're the one team really that scares me in the East. Like even Miami. I love my Miami Heat, but we go through scoring droughts, and we can't do that against KD. And
they don't have a
Kyrie.
superstar or a guy that's buckets.
And Butler's not built that way. Butler's a glue guy. But
he peaked in the bubble.
He's not
the same.
Yeah. He can't throw him the ball and say, get me 20 this quarter or something. No, he's not that guy. So it's going to be a little bit different, you know what I mean, in that regard. So
hey, I want to throw a shout out to your pops, man. What about Victor Oladipo? I think Eric Spoelstra got a secret weapon.
Yeah,
those
it's
last
nice. He
5
dropped
games
40
of
the other
season,
night before the end of the season.
Oladipo was balling.
Yeah. So
I think it's a little respect thing with Jimmy there.
You must
can't
have
really
forgot.
take it away.
He said
it's a little bit of found money with him now. You know what I'm saying? With Oladipo coming back like that, because you don't know what to expect. He's coming off a major injury, so for him to come back and drop a quick 40 before the playoffs, cool. Let you know this dude's ready. I'm with that. All right, guys. All right, hey, chug it along. Sounds good. Guys, next topic is. I know some people have said they don't want to talk about them, but we are the Lakers. All right. So Arturo famously, and damn it, he was right.
I didn't make the comment, by the way, so I don't know how I'm famous when I said, quote, the Lakers are built for the playoffs. You'll see they're going to go all the way this year. Malik Monk is a fringe all-star. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, so we see how the Lakers wound up, guys, and it wasn't pretty. So that being said, what do the Lakers do now? They wound up, I think it was 16 games under 500 or something. And
That's a lot.
It was crazy, mad dysfunctional. We all know that. They seemed to basically give up on Vogel. I'll give you my synopsis at the end of this, but. Okay. Question is, it's the Lakers. What do they do next? My man Marcus, kick us off. After you run from the world.
Apologize.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Go for it.
So the question is, what do you do? I have to be honest here. You admit that you made a colossal mistake, and it resulted in a colossal failure.
Well, they haven't. They fired Vogel.
I think that you have to realize it's an 82-game season. And it's not a half-court game during those 82 games. It only becomes a half-court game in the playoffs. So that team that we all thought, well, I won't say that we all thought. I was with CJ. I thought that they were going to be able to pull it out. But now you look at it, hey, man, you got to blow this thing up because now you're the only person that was able to remain healthy is one of the worst Hall of Famers on the team. Russell Westbrook could at least maintain his physicality throughout the entire season. But your two best players couldn't even play half the damn season. That's something to be said. You can't really do it that way anymore. Back in the day, because the game was played where you maximize the shot clock and you slow things down, it allowed players to kind of come into their own and pace themselves and then, turn it on, as we used to see Mike and the Bulls do it, mid-third quarter, going into the fourth. Now you got to hit go from the time the game starts because this team is going to give you 35 points in the first quarter. You can't be lollygagging out the gate. So now the Lakers are trying to match that with older players. By halftime, most teams are putting up 60-plus points. That's a lot of wear and tear on a team.
It's a lot of running
that is built to play a half-court style of play. So the only way to kind of play with these guys is to have outside shooting. And that's kind of the as we say the fulcrum. That's what balances it all. It's not happening with this team. So you gotta look at what you had and think about this. Although you might not want to say that Magic Johnson was a great person to have on the staff and personnel, that team that they were building prior to the trade for AD was the right direction to go. It was built for today's game. We can argue that those players, besides maybe even if you throw in Randall mixed in with Ingram, Ball, and those guys, and Hart, and then you add your Carusos and those guys. Now you're talking about a team that sort of resembles what you see over there in Memphis, sort of resembles what you see over there in Minnesota, versus the Lakers built a team that would have been great in the early 90s. But this is not a half-court game anymore. So they got to blow it up. And right now, maximize your assets. AD is a prime asset.
Yeah.
And you got to look at moving that. You really, really do. And then you let LeBron go off into the sunset because now you have that salary freed up. And let's be honest, the one thing that LA has going for itself that's the selling point, hey baby, everybody like to kick their toes up and wiggle in the sand, man, and mingle with the stars. Use that to your advantage.
They always have.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my thing is this with the Lakers. Look, this team is basically going to come back next year unless you can finesse a trade for Russ, because I know that's where everybody wants to start with. But they have to come to some kind of understanding, some clear understanding of what this team really is now. You have an older LeBron. I mean, come on, the guy's leading the league in scoring at 189 years old. So,
correction, Joel Embiid's leading the league.
Well, only because LeBron didn't.
I'm
play
unbiased.
The last 2
I'm just speaking.
only
facts.
because LeBron didn't play the last 2 games. That being said, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, you got an older LeBron. You got an AD that can only you can't bank on 50 games a season with this guy now. At this point, that is a maximum.
Fact.
If you get 50 games out of this guy from season, consider it a win, and take your losses, move on. So you got a guy. So between those two, it's good. Yes, you want a chip. I get it. But can you move AD and maybe bring somebody in? Now you got to bring somebody in that's going to work, who has the talent to be able to take over the game, either scoring or defensively. Now I'll give AD that. Now it ain't like somebody's gonna trade AD for Giannis, so he ain't gonna get somebody super caliber back in that regard. So you're not gonna get you can trade $1, but getting back 4 quarters ain't the same thing. So you have basically those 2 stars, and you stuck with them. And LeBron's gonna re-up his contract. We know that. Russ, you're sitting there with this $47 million albatross around your neck. And plus you got Melo and Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard could probably be gone. You could probably let him go. You keep Malik Monk. But here's the thing. I said they need a new voice. The Lakers need a new voice. They tuned out Vogel halfway through the season when things aren't going right. That's when you really need somebody to kind of step in and be strong.
Yep.
and say, no, hey, fuck it. We gotta pull it together. We're gonna have a midnight session, and work this out. You know what I mean? Something like that. But they tuned out Vogel. You could see it in the Lakers' body language. They just completely, if they got down, they would be down 20 in a heartbeat, and then just sort of give up. You can see it in their body language, and then that became disheartening. And then that's, I'd wake up in the morning and every show, man, they play like garbage. All the sportscasts, man, they play like garbage, man. That's garbage. So a new voice. I say start there. You make Russ the captain of the second team. Give him the incentive. Put him in incentive. Like he needs an incentive in his contract of $47 million. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that shit. He make him the captain of the second team and see if he can get 6 man of the year. Give him something to shoot for.
He said all the wrong things at the press conference.
I get it.
It was bad, man.
I get it. No, I get it.
It's not my fault. It's everybody else's.
It was terrible. No, what should happen and what will happen are going to be 2 different things on that. I get it. I get that part. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to have to keep Russ, nobody's going to trade for Russ, because the only way you can get rid of Russ is if somebody agrees to a buyout. And Russ is not going to buy out. You won't buy out $47 million for pennies on the dollar? No, you're not. You're going to make that league pay you that, because that NBA money's guaranteed. So they're going to pay that man $47 million, whether they play him every game or sit him down or let him sit at home with his feet up. They got to pay that money. So if you're going to have him, make him the captain or something. Because what he did, he's lost his confidence, and he just said fuck it. Because you could tell Russ said fuck it too. But,
yes, he did.
Halfway through the season, once he started having these really bad shooting games, and it was really bad. I mean, some of that's got to be pride. Come on, Russ. Some of that's got to be come on, man. I was a toast of the league, man. A couple of years ago, averaging triple double. Now I'm this.
You got to do something. Change the way you touch the ball. Move something.
That he needs new incentive. He needs a brand new incentive. He needs something that's going to make him want to drive and be good. Now you can tell him you can fight. The next coach is going to have to fight him off the starting lineup. I know that's not going to be easy. I'm not saying what I'm saying is easy. So it may not come to pass. I get that. Fight Russ off that. See if you can get him to man the second unit, and you get yourself a real point guard. LeBron's going to have to start running pick and roll and start posting up and start running pick and roll. He can still get his numbers because he can still come right off and have the ball like they used to do, like Milwaukee used to do with Giannis, be right at the top of the square by himself, squared up with a single defender. If he gets help, if he gets doubled either direction at the pass, that's a three. Give him two shooters. Which brings me to my next point. If they spend another nickel on another player, if they trade for anything, they better get a motherfucker that can shoot threes. They don't really have that. They have scores. There's a difference. Scorer can get you some points, but he can't space the floor. And you got everybody driving to the basket and all that. That's what the Lakers got now. Melo, pull up jumper. He can't really get to the basket anyway. But all these guys, Russ, AD, LeBron, they all like to go to the basket. So it's all crowded in there. So you got to get you another spot up shooter. They should have really been in the market for a Seth Curry. That's what they really should have been in the market for, space that floor out. So get them some shooting. Some shooting. Make Russ the captain of the second team. Somehow massage his ego. Get him off starting and thinking that he's going to be that. And they, quiet as kept, gentlemen, his stats are not far off his career stats, believe it or not, this year. They're not that far off. It just looked terrible. He had some really terrible moments in it, and I get that. 1,000% I get that. But you're stuck with him. You got one more year of this. $47 million worth. And he's not going to buy out, and nor would I. I wouldn't either. Fuck y'all. Pay me my money. So you're stuck with him. And so that's what the Lakers should do now. They need a new change of voice. That's my final wrap up. Change of voice.
I'll roll with you on the voice.
Lue, somebody that LeBron can respect.
Lue's not leaving the Clippers.
I know that. No, I know that. But I'm just saying, it's got to be a big name that he respects. Somebody that's won a chip. You can't bring in a David Blatt or something like that. And not with LeBron.
Shout out
now.
David Blatt.
Right. Can't do that now. Can't do that now with LeBron. LeBron needs somebody, steady at the helm. You could even say Coach K, somebody strong and steady. I know it, right. I'm laughing too. Trust me, I'm laughing too.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Never say never.
Because you know what Coach K would say? He'd be that new voice. You know what that voice would say? Man, the best ability is availability.
Hey, man.
LeBron, AD, two things can be true. And you say it all the time, C's. Two things can be true. Yeah,
yes,
Russell could have had a better season, but we got to look at the last two seasons of Anthony Davis and LeBron. It's what it is. Russ was underlying, he was wrong at the press conference for not taking more responsibility, even though he kind of did. But AD and LeBron are not available.
Right.
I'm going to fight. We all saw the movie The Warriors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When they were on the run, running through the land in the 70s, common factor, even though they got split up, they had a couple of heads that stuck together. You got to have those gangsters with you, man. You can't have guys that have empty calories.
So,
LeBron ain't been the same since KD gave it to him in the playoffs in the finals.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
For that three, cash.
Wow. Okay, so next question. Real simple, guys. I'm going to start off with my man Arturo on this one. I know he's thinking this out a little bit. Real simple. Who's your coach of the year? Yeah, man, we got some choices, man. We got some good choices on coach of the year. So, you know what? Arturo, have at it. Let us know.
There's some really good choices, right? I think Monty Williams wins it, though. I think Monty Williams, the sequel is much more difficult than the first time. He got Phoenix to the playoffs after that run in the bubble, the summer camp championship that the Lakers won, and they won 8 in a row, and almost made it, didn't make it in, and the next year they make it to the finals, and here we are again, and they're the best team in basketball. So obviously they didn't have Chris Paul at times, Booker at times, saw them without, I forgot his name, Crowder.
Yeah.
And they were winning games against quality teams just by just a good basketball team. So regardless of what, Memphis coach did a great job. man, we were just talking about Clippers. Ty Lue did a good job.
Udoka.
Man, Boston brought him back from the dead, Undertaker style. So,
Right.
but at the end of the day, 64 wins is historic. That's what Phoenix got. He by default wins Coach of the Year.
Ooh, hard to argue that one. Love Monty. And shout out, bro. Anybody that can make Cameron Payne a player, that bum, I gotta give him some credit. Anybody that can make Torrey Craig a viable player.
Talk about coming back from the dead.
His brother can coach.
So if I threw these five names at you,
but my guy is Doak. Doak in Boston. You talking about a team that was one game over 500, almost at the abyss.
I ain't mad.
And they're the third seed.
I ain't even mad at you.
I can't take that away. I gotta give him some credit.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Gave him an identity.
Okay, so because I'm gonna tell you what the list is, and you guys seem pretty good. But I had Spoelstra out of Miami.
Yeah.
Who saw Miami being the number one pick?
The number one in the list.
Udoka, Boston, of course. Boston was left dead on the heat.
I'd be all right with him.
Came back, bro. Monty Williams. He only had the best team and had the best record and dominated all season long from
and
start
like Marcus
to
said,
the end.
make Marcus made Payne.
Taylor Jenkins, the coach of Memphis. Shoot, he all of a sudden got Memphis second in the West, and a problem.
What are they, 19-2 without Ja?
Nobody want to see Ja in Memphis. Don't nobody want to see Ja in Memphis. Believe that.
Correct.
And then last on that list, I had J. Kidd of Dallas. Man, Dallas is balling.
You know what? I'm sorry, J. Kidd.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right, C.
J. Kidd of Dallas, man. Dallas
that.
is balling out, and this has been the second half of the season. Which
they're the Boston of the West.
They started out slow, so you could take points away because they started out slow and they weren't all season hot. But Dallas is a problem right now. You don't want to mess with Dallas either. So out of those names, and now you still sticking with Udoka?
I still stick with Doak because I feel like even though Dallas, like what Dallas benefited from, that voice you said, and that voice was like the best ability is availability. Get Porzingis out of here because the punk ain't never available. Once they did that and brought in Dinwiddie, season changed. Done deal. But I'm still rolling with Doak.
Okay.
Still rolling with Doak.
Okay. All right, just checking. That was a good one. That was good. Good.
Sticking with Monty Williams. 64 wins is a lot of wins.
But shout out to my man in Memphis because didn't nobody see that shit. I'm sorry. They're the deepest team, one of the deepest teams. And like
for real.
The best player
for real.
30 games and they win like most of them.
80% of them they won. I think at one point they were like 19-2 without him. It's ridiculous. They're a good team.
Seriously.
And Dylan Brooks is out.
Yep. There is a legitimate argument for each one of these cats. For real. Spoelstra, Udoka, Monty Williams, Taylor Jenkins, Memphis, and J. Kidd. There's a serious argument. And then you could have thrown in our guy in Chicago for a little while. Chicago fell off. I know.
I can't, man. They became a bad team.
Yeah, no. We fell off. No.
They
if
became a bad team.
We kept it up, he'd be on the list.
Had they held the 2 or 3 seed.
That's another question for another day. Anyway. Next question is, who's your MVP?
Ooh. Good question.
Your MVP. And really, it comes down to 3 names. We know this, right? Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis mostly. You can toss in Booker, CP3 for a while till he get hurt. DeMar DeRozan for a second there. He kind of, not that he fell off, just that the team fell off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you got to, take a point away there. There may be a name or two that I'm missing there. But that being the question, who's your MVP? Marcus.
God damn it. I hate to admit it.
Just speak with your heart, Marcus.
Oh, shut up. Listen, it's Joel Embiid. He has shown me, all I ever wanted was for him to remain healthy for most of the season and do what he does. He earned my respect last year playing on that meniscus tear. Best player on his team on one leg, still averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds a game, doing his thing. This year, all season long. Can't take nothing away from him. Unfortunately, Giannis, what counts against him is what counted against Mike and a lot of the greats, sustained greatness. And we forget, we get used to it. We become,
you're tired of him. Yeah.
You know, so Giannis isn't going to get it. He's got a couple of them. I think he's just going to have to take that in the bag and roll with it. Joel, it's his time. He would have gotten it last year if he didn't get hurt. The Joker.
Yep.
And again, the Joker is the common man's favorite because he looks like everybody's dad or uncle or whatever.
Right.
But if we really step
right.
back, let's just be real here. Basketball is entertainment. It's not aesthetically pleasing to watch him do what he does. It's something to watch a big 7-footer step back and pop a 3. And then the next possession, go down in the paint on the block and body your ass and give you that bucket and go to the foul line. As much as I hate to admit it, because my man at my right will not let it die.
I'm unbiased.
It is Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He gets my vote if I had one, but I don't. Luka, almost, but Porzingis robbed you because of those early games. That's why we weren't talking about you.
I agree with Marcus, unbiasedly speaking.
Of course.
Shout out Reese. He knows I'm unbiased. He'll be the first to tell you. I got Embiid. There's no secret that he is the best player. Like you said, Marcus, there's entertainment, and there is nights where you watch him play, and besides being aesthetically pleasing, he just looks unstoppable at times. He's a 7'2", 280, 275. He's lean now. He's in shape. So he obviously learned from his mistakes of the past. The stories of the Shirley Temples and the bad diet are famous. And it looks like he really got himself into shape this year and felt salty about last year. And there's a story that also comes with MVP. He didn't win it last year. He wasn't injured. And then you hear these stories, and we all love them, of guys who just steadily improve year by year. And then they reach this level where you're like, oh yeah, they're making a run for the best player in the world. He is the best player in the world. It's his PER. I think it's like number 1 of all time. He has the most double-doubles. He's a scoring leader. When Ben Simmons, hanging out on benches in Brooklyn in sheepskin clothes, trying to be, looking cool without playing, he had to deal with that guy for, this season, who's not speaking, he just held that team together. That team would have been garbage without him. So that also needs to be part of the equation. Joel Embiid is the MVP. CJ? Disagree.
You know what? No. I can't. And I hate giving this man the satisfaction.
But I'm unbiased. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I feel really awkward right now.
I feel dirty now. I got to go shower now. I don't feel my normal self. But no, it's Embiid. Embiid is for all the reasons that you stated, I absolutely agree. Embiid, first and foremost, got himself in shape. But, if any one of the 3 won, I wouldn't be surprised. You can make a strong case, and I would sit down gladly and have a beer with you and go, yeah, I agree. I disagree.
I think that you would, if somebody else won, if someone else was voted the winner, I feel like you would not sleep well. That's how you know it.
Yeah, damn you and the truth.
Listen, one more thing before you go to break, C's. We're going to need our Facebook community to chime in because I know we made a Teflon here, but if y'all going to let this cat for 1 second say, and I quote, Joel Embiid is the best player in the world, man, please, fire some shots. We can take it.
The MVP is the best player in the world.
That's folly.
So right now, he's the best. If you win the MVP, that means you're the best player in the world.
We're going to talk about who's box office and who's that dude. Embiid is this year's MVP, but
the best player in the world.
Brakes on the best player in the world.
Next year will be different.
KD is still breathing. I can't even go there. I can't. Please go to the break. Please.
This man is crazy.
I don't even drink, and I need a drink.
This is what it is with Arturo, CJ, man, with our very special guest Marcus. We talking hoops and having fun with it. We're gonna step away for a quick second. We'll be right back. Don't change the dial. Don't touch that. We'll be right back. Oh, am I dead yet? Master Ace in the place. It's your boy CJ. What's up, man? We're back. This is what it is with my main man Arturo and CJ, man. We got a very special guest. Marcus is in the place to be, man. We talking a little bit of hoops tonight. Just some hella fire rookies in this class, so I'm gonna throw that out to my main man Arturo. Rate this class. You know what? Hey, before you even get started, man, I got a couple names to throw at you. Okay, so think about this. You got Evan Mobley in Cleveland, Scotty Barnes in Toronto, Ayo Dosunmu, my guy, from Chicago, Cade Cunningham, Detroit. You got Jalen Green from Houston. So you got some talented guys to choose from. If you have your own list, please provide that. But if you guys have any ideas, man, chime in at any time. But anyway, kicking this off, my man Arturo. Arturo, rate this class. Who are these rookies? Who's your rookie of the year?
First of all, shout out to Io. He gave us a lot of joy at the beginning of this year. He played point guard for a little bit, and he held strong. Shout out. He's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but shout out to him. He really did a good job this year. He made a believer out of me, made me a fan. I watched Mobley last night with you guys, and I think about, things that were written about him, about how he's the next special type player. He was part of a winning team, the Twin Towers with Jared Dudley. But I couldn't just stop thinking about Scotty Barnes and what he's doing in Toronto. Marcus, we talked about this the other day. He is a key player on a team that ended up 5th in the East and is scaring the shit out of me in the first round against Toronto. And that goes through Scotty Barnes. Nick Nurse is the perfect coach for him. He's got these long arms, and defensively he's a menace. He knows how to play basketball. He is just a rookie. Toronto might beat Philly, and Scotty Barnes is part of that team. So I have to go with Scotty Barnes. He's a more impactful player on a team that might do something special this year.
That's not a bad choice. And that guy kind of came out of nowhere for me.
I didn't know who he was.
When they drafted him, I wasn't, Scotty Barnes. It was like, okay, whatever, man. This kid has proven himself. Anyway. So, same question to you, Marcus, my man.
Well,
who's your rookie? Who's your rookie of the year? But and even more than that, how do you rate this rookie class, man? You look at some of the names that I put out there. Do you see any of these youngins? And I'll bring that question back to you, Arturo, at some point too. Do you see any of these youngins being A, All-Stars or B, MVPs?
Scotty
Barnes.
Go ahead, Marcus.
So first things first, I think I'll go to the latter part of your question. How I rate this rookie class. Unfortunately, I really see two what I would consider stud players. Two players that will carry their team moving forward and not just be role players. Now, it's not a knock against role players because role players are a necessity. But I look at Cade Cunningham, and I look at Io, believe it or not, as guys who are positioning themselves to be a next tier guy. And I say that because of a multifaceted approach to the game, can do a number of different things, which leads me to my rookie of the year. The question was, who's my rookie of the year? And again, I'll use your term, Arturo, slightly unbiased, but at the end of the day, what I saw Io DeSumo do.
I say completely unbiased, sorry.
Oh my gosh. Io was like, let's be real here. Talking about a guy that we got in Chicago for a steal in the draft, all because his team in Illinois kind of faltered going into the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
He was the player
We stole him.
He was player of the year in college basketball
stole his soul.
prior to that happening. But I gauge it by who do you learn the game from? And with him having DeMar, Zach LaVine, and Billy Donovan to kind of model what's next and what's to come, it's one thing to have coaching, but it's another thing to have players that guide you along the way and show you how to withstand those darts that come every day in an 82-game season. I love what Evan Mobley's doing, but I'm sorry, Evan Mobley's learning from Lauri Markkanen and the rest of these clowns up there. He's going to do his thing. And Scotty Barnes, I got to give credit to the program out in Florida State. They produce killers. They do. But, and I think he came from Florida State. I believe he came from Florida State. I might have that wrong, but I think he did. And Cade Cunningham is just I mean, if you like the likes of LaMelo Ball, and he fits into that mode of a player. So, but as far as that, taking it to an all-star level, having that pressure on you, I do believe Io and Cade Cunningham are your two. And if I had to pick, and Cade Cunningham just missed too many games, to be considered for Rookie of the Year, I would really have to look at Io heavily and really
Io's a
strong
monster, man. Io's a monster.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But the boy can ball. And learning from DeMar, who can teach him how to be humble. And they're the same temperament, the same personality. Man, just go out here and give these mugs your game. Give them buckets. But don't talk too much.
Or just the simple fact of like continue to improve consistently throughout your career. Like that example as well, right? Like having a guy like DeMar who's become a better player over time.
Yeah.
That was good. All right, gentlemen. So we understood that. So my Rookie of the Year is Evan Mobley. Solid big man. I actually call him Tim Duncan 2.0. Sort of has that kind of, skill set. He can play big. Got a good shot, good face up. The other guys, and I get IL. IL's sort of my heart. I need IL to sort of take the next step. I think that'll happen this season. He's a rookie. He looked like a rookie at times. When you have a rookie, I don't trip on that, guys. That's just comes with the territory. So, but good choices though. Scotty Barnes, monster.
Yep.
Monster. Rating this class, pretty good. I think we're gonna have a couple guys that are gonna be MVP caliber. I think Mobley is. Believe it or not, Cade Cunningham. He's gonna be an all-star. I've seen this guy. He averaged like 25 the second half of the season.
He looks like he's stoned all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah. But he averaged 25 the second half of the season.
Bro,
24
it's
the
legal.
second half of the season.
I'm not knocking him. I suppose.
No, I'm saying.
He always has that look like he's stoned.
Kid is mad.
Got the J.R. Smith look.
It's legal, bro. It's legal.
Yeah, it's legal. Right. Kid is mad nice. So
legalized.
I got a very intriguing question I want to ask you two gentlemen. Okay, so I kind of heard this a version of this, and I wanted to switch it up and make it about us and what we could do. So I got a question. If you could take a player from today's game and transport him back to another point in time in the NBA, say the 90s, we know how 90s basketball, but the 80s, I'm not sure if I know a lot about the 70s and 60s, so I don't know where I'd be. But what player from today would you like to see play back then, and then you can tell us what you think they could do? And let's flip that, and let's tell me about a player from back in the day that you think would rock nowadays. Think about that. Think about that. So if the general audience gets my question, think about somebody now. I got two names from both directions, from nowadays to play back in the day, and then back in the day to play nowadays, and how they would get down. So you see what the premise of the question is. So if you got an answer for that, man, hit us up in the chat room. Let us know what's up. I'm gonna throw this one at my man Marcus. All right. So you heard the question. All right, it's a little bit different. It's about different eras. All right, tell me who you got.
Okay, so that you're making me go into the think tank here, see. So okay, here we go. So if I had to, I'll do it. I'll invert it. Do it in reverse. So if I had to bring a player from a past era and bring him in today's game, you know what? So I'll start with the 80s, early 80s. First guy I bring back, Big Game James, and I ain't talking about Harden. I'm talking about James Worthy.
Wow, I gave him first woo to sort of
a unique skill set, extremely fast and quick with that first step as a small forward. Go back and check your footage, YouTube. The boy will take you off that first step and give you some business.
Big game, James, monster,
explosion off the floor.
Yeah.
Watch him at North Carolina. Watch him. Period.
Right.
Boy had some game. If I had to go, I would say mid '80s. Another guy who I think, because he played a Luka Doncic kind of game, that's Danny Manning.
Danny Manning.
Wow.
Shout out Danny Manning.
If you watch that Kansas championship where he played point guard, small forward, center, off guard, two guard, you'd understand why I'm saying that. Then he came to the Clippers. Prior to blowing out that knee, he was an exceptional talent. Great ball handler at his size, excellent shooter, dribble penetration. He reinvented the small forward position for a season and a half. If I then move to the 90s, early 90s, to the mid 90s, and I think this player actually played a little bit in the early 2000s, but I know he definitely hit his stride in like 96, 97. That's Allen Houston. that skill set of
Oh, wow.
dribble, penetration, excellent shooting from the perimeter, sound defender, and he had the prototypical size that the league was transitioning into. He's about 6'5", 6'6" at that time. When they drafted a young Grant Hill out of Duke, he was a star in Detroit prior to going to the Knicks and what have you. So those would be my guys, kind of bringing back and putting them in today's game. Now, as far as going back from today's game and throwing guys back in the old day, oh, I'm sorry, and I also got to give my boy Kevin Johnson a little bit of love too, because it's a guard-driven league now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He
so
would get down today too. for
that
sure.
explosion off the floor.
Sure.
If you like what John Morant's doing, go back and look at some footage of Kevin Johnson dunking on Akeem Olajuwon, dunking on David Robinson, and this is off the bounce, just like Ja does it. Go back and check it out. Him, Thunder Dan, Danny Ainge when he was old, still effective. Check it out. Tom Chambers, use some ball players. Now, for a player from today's game going back in the day, I have to be honest. The number one player that I think would just kill these dudes, Arturo alluded to him earlier, it's Luka Doncic. A half-court game because he is so fundamentally sound. He's not going to out-quick you. He's not going to outdo. He just had the greatest fundamentals. And that was what you needed back in the day. Because it was a half-court game and guys try to use their physicality to try to punk you on the court. So you ain't punking that boy. And he's got the skill set to where I can go left, I can go right, whatever you do. As far as the post player goes, you mentioned him before. Pillsbury Doughboy is out here balling. These are guys. So if you follow my theme, in order for guys in today's game to play in the old day, you really had to have a sound fundamental background to where you can pass. You were triple threat, as coaches used to tell us growing up. You can pass, you can shoot that thing, and you can dribble, and ultimately you can defend. Now I know that's a bit of a stretch for my boys as far as defense, but it was team defense back then. Funnel you into the post, into that big body, and you lose a couple teeth on the floor. But that's how you play defense. So I'll leave it there and give my boy Arturo a chance to chime in before I chew up all the clock. But
kind of spelled it out. Okay, Arturo, talk to me.
Whoo, a lot to unpack there. I love that Allen Houston reference.
Man, that is definitely for the heads.
That just took me back.
Definitely for the heads.
Yeah, it is. That guy could shoot. Just fundamental. Man, beautiful player to watch. Remember him in those Knicks teams. You know, Knicks were our rivals. You know, so you watch plenty of Knicks teams, and you were like, man, are they that good? Two names strike out at me. First of all, I remember Charles Oakley not too long ago making a comment saying that Giannis would get eaten alive if he played back then. He would get beat up, and he would just lay down, and he would be a bench player, basically.
That's bananas.
And
agreed. That's crazy talk.
This is a two-time MVP winner and an MVP Finals winner who made like 15 out of 18 free throws after shooting a dismal, percentage point throughout the playoffs. So this guy can ball. I would love to have seen what Giannis would have done had he gone back in that era for real. Remember that picture when he was like all jacked up with his brothers and they were like lifting, and it was like, yeah, Giannis is like jumping off a pogo stick in the era of like athletic, guys in the mid-range, and he would have likely have just jumped over everybody, taken some licks, but he would have given some out as well too after a little bit. I would have loved to have seen what that looked like. Does he still rise to that caliber player with the physicality, or is he just a guy in the middle? It's so interesting to think about it. And then an old guy going to a new era, I keep thinking of the glove, Gary Payton. What does that look like in today's modern game? The guy could defend at an elite level where there's perimeter. He would have taken on the best perimeter player every single night. And unlike Pat Beverly, who's all, chew and talk shit, this guy had skills.
I knew Pat Beverly was coming up.
He has skills. So he would talk that shit. He would talk nasty shit to you, really try to get you to fight him. You had to think twice. If a guy's talking shit to you crazy, like trying to get you to fight him, you start thinking like, man, what does this guy know? Like, he must be really tough if he just wants me to just to fight. He would have gotten better at a three-point shooter. He had that nice from the top of the key when he would catch it and just loft it up. I mean, they got to a finals that way. They also won like 63 or 64 games that year that they played the Bulls. Like, that's a historically great team as well too. They just ran into the Bulls.
Good point.
So I would love to have seen what Gary Payton could have became in this era, where it's a lot of run and gun, a lot of 3-point shooting, and it's really hard. You have to really think outside the box to defend guys. Those are my two that just come to mind.
Good point.
CJ,
Okay.
who you got?
I got you.
Can I throw one more
No,
at you
go ahead,
before I
man.
forget?
Go for
'Cause
it.
I do think I agree with your takes. My only question with Gary Payton is how well he'll be able to defend, because you can't use your hands anymore.
Well, that's what I said. He would have had to got creative.
So I do
Yeah.
wonder about that.
Good point.
But one guy that I forgot, and please forgive me, he was born Chris Jackson. But when he became Muslim, he became Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, my Muslim brother. If he were in today's game, he'd probably have 4 or 5 MVP
Oh
awards.
man, ooh, he was nice.
I am sorry,
He was
Chris.
nice.
I'm sorry,
He was
Mahmoud.
Crazy nice.
I don't know how I forgot.
I'll keep it real brief. Right now, I like to see KD play back in the '90s. I want to see if KD can get that butter off, man. Gets a little hand checking and gets my grandmama and them from New York and
Grandmama.
and
That would've
you
been
know,
hard.
and
It's strong.
Morning and them boys down in Miami and all that. And Smiths and them and
Rick
the
Smits.
the whatchamacallit brothers,
Flying Dutchman.
the
Davis boys.
Davis boys. There you go. The Davis brothers and
Bash brothers.
Indy. You know what I'm saying? So how would he have done with that? Now I think he would have done. See, first off, he is naturally skilled. First off, they would have been switching, and he would have wound up with Charles Oakley or somebody on it. He just would have just
Broke
buttered
his knees.
ass up. So I mean, because KD has range like that. Oh shoot, he eating their ass up. But
And he's
I
got
would
those
like to
handles,
see
man.
it because you know all you gotta do is put a little something on KD, and he ain't exactly he 185 with boots and a towel on. So you know what I'm saying. So okay. So that's those are a couple of players I like to see go back. One coming back, but
true.
you know else who I want to see, man, and I'll keep this real on the real tip. I like to see Isaiah Thomas come back now and see him play nowadays, because he would be Kyrie Irving. That would be to me. Zeke is Kyrie Irving 1.0. Kyrie Irving is the 2.0 version of Zeke. With a little more street, a little more and one mixtape in him. You know what I'm saying? But they both got that pity pat. You know what I'm saying?
Isaiah's a general, though.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
He's technically better in that regard.
But
He's going to lead you.
Zeke could give it to you, man. Zeke could give it to you.
Zeke is a general regular season assassin in the playoffs.
Oh man, Zeke, yes sir. So I like to see Zeke come and see how he do that. Somebody else I would love, and this is just for shits and giggles. Jason Williams, White Chocolate. Tell me you wouldn't love to see this dude nowadays. With all these cats that lob up,
Oh, yeah.
man, all these young legs, man.
LaMelo Ball before LaMelo.
Man, seriously, LaMelo Ball, yeah, wants to be White Chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, because LaMelo's nice, but man, Jason
He's on his
Williams he's on his way. Jason Williams was must-see TV.
I agree.
All right, so I got one more question. For the crew. All right, dang, I got a real simple question for you. If you had enough for one ticket, and you wanted to buy a ticket to go see somebody play in this NBA, anyone play a must-see player you got to see in this NBA today, and it's just one. You can have 5. I get it, because there's a few cats I like to see. But if you had to plump down your money for one ticket, see one player this year to see, who would it be? And I'm gonna let Arturo go first, and I'm gonna finish up with our very special guest Marcus. But Arturo, who you dropping them dollars to go see, homie?
Well, the real answer is, which should be everybody's answer, but it's a little bit. So I'll give you a 2-part answer here. The first one, and unfortunately, he's been blackballed in this league for whatever weird reason. I would pay money, and I think everybody agrees they would pay money to see Cristiano Felicio play.
Oh my God!
He's overseas now.
And thank you for listening, guys. We're done here tonight. We're gonna go home, and we're it. We'll
Cristiano
never be on
Felicio,
air again,
baby.
because I can see the hate mail coming now.
Cristiano Felicio, we believe in you. We know you'll be back. Kyrie Irving defies physics. The way he takes these shots, where he's on angles that seem impossible to make, and the form is still perfect. The balance, the geometry, the way the elbow comes up, the release.
His footwork, his feet work is crazy, crazy on play. You could run
defies.
seminars. You should do seminars on it. Seriously.
But Kyrie Irving, I think pound for pound, is the most incredible spectacle to see when you're trying to see somebody do something that just oohs and ahs you every single time. There's guys that are tall. There's guys like Giannis, Embiid, James, of course. But Kyrie just gives you something where you just, doesn't matter what night it is, you're going to see him do something that you're just like, I can't believe I just saw that.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving.
Right. Kyrie. All right. Marcus.
Kyrie special. It's hard to argue that.
Who you pay to see, man?
Now, CJ, you mentioned this last year. And while I was vacillating back and forth between, KD and Luka, you kept mentioning this kid. And the more I watched it, it's Ja Morant. It's Ja, and there's and I got to give you credit. You used the words, Ja Morant is must-see TV. And
must-see TV, man.
Listen, being someone that played the guard position, the things that he can do, everything Arturo said regarding Kyrie, all those things apply, but then there's that extra caveat of that mouth. When somebody, he's got that KD mouth where he's talking real greasy to you. Real greasy and crazy. And then he go and yoke on you. And then just when you think that, okay, he just want to score, he talk real greasy and then throw that thing up, to a couple other guys on his team. And then he's still talking after they yoke on it and yam on you. Guys like that, you want to watch because no matter what they do with the ball, whether they score it, whether they pass it, it's all going to be jaw-dropping. Yeah. And I never really thought that of him, even though I saw it coming out of college. You know how we look at it. It's college. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nah.
Right.
This dude talk real crazy. And I mean, when I say real crazy, I'm talking Gary Payton, KD kind of crazy on the court. Like talking real greasy. And the boy delivers. I love that because you take other players' heart and soul on the court. You take it. The he's must-see TV. Luka's a close second now because Luka talk a lot too.
Yeah. He's coming.
He's got that accent. You can't guard me. I want him. Move the screen. Move the screen. I want him. I want him. Come on, Paul. Come on, PG. Come on, Kawhi. I want Kawhi. I want Kawhi now.
That was so disrespectful.
I want fast guy to guard me. I want best guy in team to defend me.
That was so disrespectful. He set his picks up so he could get Paul George on him. And then just abuse. It looked like child abuse. It was. It looked like child abuse. It was terrible.
Hey, and to my Slovenian fans, I am not racist in any way, shape, or form. I'm a pacifist. I don't want no problems. Please don't come for me. I love Luka, but it's Ja, no doubt.
So I ain't mad at either one of y'all, honestly, for that answer. Ja or Kyrie. I give the edge to Kyrie because I just ain't seen nobody as buttered him. Now, Ja is the more physically gifted of the two. You know what I'm saying? This cat is doing 360s and just dominating. But Kyrie, though, when he gets the buttery, getting doing buttery handle moves and blah, blah, and it's like pinpoints, like blah, blah. I saw him split I saw him split the double team on this a couple games ago. Dude, he came out, he double crossed, and then boop, and then split the double team, but threw it out. Like he was gonna do a sham guy with it. And he threw it out, and then he caught it here, and then he was like, and he came up off the bounce, and he had the ball in his hand. He got bumped, switched hands, turned it like this, and then turned and went off the glass. I'm like, it was one of the most craziest, butteriest moves I've seen in my life. Like, and he did that so easy. He was like, back, cross, hezzo, off the bounce, yak. It was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, man, but Ja, I'm telling you, the craziest play I done seen this year, and I know y'all could probably agree, is that two-hand snatch he did, man, off the top of the backboard.
That's incredible.
Top of the square. That
was his coming out party, man.
That is beyond stupid. You know what's really funny? That's one of them clips like every time I see it, I'm still amazed. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see it, like I'll look at it. It ain't like, oh, I ain't seen that shit 1,000 times. No, every time I see it, I look at this moment like, God, he is 6'2" guard win. Got that, homie. Went and got it. Give me that, bruh. No, not the 2 today. But anyway, so this is what it is, man. We're gonna sign on out. We get on out here. We're out here. All right.
It's for the people.
Moby Pope coming soon.
Yes, sir.